Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IndustryActivations podcast. My name is Jason Asher, along with Ryan Albretsen. Today's podcast is brought to you by OpenTech. Technology to the next level. It gets better every time. Today, we're going to continue on with our franchise theme for the month of May, and we're going to specifically be focusing on subsidiaries and the why of subsidiaries within a multi-tenanted SaaS ERP environment. And to kick it off today, Ryan, I believe you might have some insights.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, as you said, today we're really exploring a critical component of business management within NetSuite, and that's subsidiaries. So whether you're managing a multinational corporation or a growing business with multiple branches, understanding how to effectively set these up and manage these subs within NetSuite can really streamline your operations and drive success. So today we're really going to break down the fundamentals, share expert tips, and discuss real-world examples to help you harness the full power of the subsidiary management within NetSuite.
Great. And if we start from the top, literally, and we look at NetSuite One World, basically the out of the box, standard licensing, financials first, maybe WD NetSuite One World. What's fascinating about it is that within the subs themselves, Captain Obvious, you get your EIN number, you get the full functionality of the suite. But what's also interesting is that within a multi-tenanted SaaS like NetSuite, you also get the ability to, make custom dashboards, have custom modules, but push them out to all the users within the franchise locations themselves.
And I think what you said there, Jason, about the way the subsidiary structure is set up, it's we have our one parent company on top, and then you have all these subsidiaries underneath them, and they all roll up to the top. So the thing that our clients like the most about it is the reporting. You can see everything within each company. You can pull it out or just see it all at once. So it really is a great way that NetSuite sets things up within the system.
It does. And whether you're a franchise that has 18 locations or you're a franchise that has 6,800 locations, it's pretty much the same type of approach. Whereas the franchise owners, whether they have 50 locations to 200 locations, it's still the same function of product management within an ERP approach, which because it just eliminates regardless of size of the store, it eliminates the need for branches, it eliminates the need to customize things, it eliminates having reliance on specific people or specific developers. I know the developers in the audience right now are like, hey guys, hey, way to go. But it really stabilizes the operations of the
right. And that's why it's really important to have a strong partner to set things up initially when your account is brand new within NetSuite, because we've come into accounts where the subsidiary structure was not set up correctly, and no matter what we did, we still couldn't get the reporting the customer was looking for, just because the foundation wasn't set up right. So there's been times where we had to really start from scratch, make sure the foundation was set up right, and then pull all the subsidiaries from the parent company or the holding company.
With the other company you and I used to be a part of, we ran into situations where it had to be a full-on re-implementation of the suite because of that. So I think what we're going to do, Ryan, we're going to give the audience right now some wisdom. We're going to communicate some pain that we've gone through in these situations, and it helps some people through some implementations right now, even approaching sales cycles and basically like kind of sharing our knowledge. So I think what I'd love to do now is kind of look at industry activations for franchises, and then look at the idea of industry activations for multiple subsidiaries. So Ryan, I think that you touched on something very, very important. Whereas we have let's just set the stage here, and we're going to call this stage over here. Okay, let's make it a light gray. And we're going to call this NetSuite, right? And just because I used to work there, I'll make it bold, and then we'll move it up and over. And then right now, right, to the point that you made, is that we have our One World instance, right, over here. let's spell instance right so that Twitter doesn't go crazy. And then we're gonna take that, move that over there, move that down there. And this really becomes this really becomes the trailhead for the entire experience, right? So now from that one world instance, we have let's say the master account, right? And then from the master we have all of our subsidiaries here. So we could have like sub one, a little bit smaller. We have sub number two, sub number three, and for this sake, let's say sub number four. So now we have a four subsidiaries. In this situation, it's just everything nice little line because that's what we like to do. We like to make sure let's yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically plug these in to see the master to the master one world account. And that one world account, that master, it doesn't necessarily have to be, it's really just one store. And you want to make it either, your biggest store, it could be the most popular one, or it could be your first one. The store should have some sort of a meaning to it as to why it's the first one. And there's some franchise organizations that we work with. They have a fondness because store number one was in like Dixhill, Long Island, whatever. It doesn't matter. So now that we have all of this, this is where the solution, right, becomes pretty interesting. So we're going to move this over here, right, and then as they move that, we're gonna kind of come in on an angle here, and let's do the shapes out and over here. And what we're basically going to do, right, is that I want to kind of bring to light, some of the ideas that you're talking about before, about how the main instance of one world and the master accounts kind of has a down kind of affects everything downstream. So as we look at the possibilities here, it's actually very, very interesting. Let's get that aligned over there. Good. All right, that doesn't want. So over here, we're gonna have our dashboards, right? And we're gonna have, and they're just need to a little bit bigger. To have dashboards, we're gonna have reporting. We're gonna have daily sales, possibly inventories, channel lists of revenue, for revenue reconciliation. We have, potentially reconciliation, as well as let's say like NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, et cetera, et cetera. And then what happens is when you have this downstream availability, or this downstream kind of like management, now you're managing NetSuite as if it's a product, right? And I think where a lot of times where things go wrong is that we have our good friend over here. Let's call it good friend data migration, right? And then what happens is if this goes in here correctly, everything downstream, absolutely amazing, right? But Ryan, to your point, I think what you and I have seen over the last 10 to 14 years is that this over here becomes really the main thing, right? And I think we've got to change that from blue to red to show how important it is. So the main thing becomes the data migration. Now, once that goes into one world and it's proper, and then actually goes into one world, it goes into the master account, put it in there. Then you avoid a lot of risks with implementing an ERP like that. So because the dashboard, the reporting, daily sales, inventory, channels, revenue, reconciliation, let's say NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, and let's say third party data integrations. Everything pretty much aligns very, very well. Once the data settles, and once all of these different attributes are settled, and having a module first industry activation, it forces the discipline onto the organization, so that by design, out of the box you get a really well tuned industry specific solution, a very minimal customization. So that in itself is the industry activation for subsidiaries, if you will, within our ongoing series. And I think, Ryan, if we could leave the audience with some pearls of wisdom, if you will, or industry activation knowledge, IAC. I just made that up. I think from my perspective, the top three things would be, alignment on data migration, alignment on reporting,
Yeah.
and then alignment on how the franchisees and how the locations should interact with the system. And that way, that'll cut down on escalations. It'll cut down on a lot of things. And then what that forces into franchise-based organizations is a level of discipline and a disciplined approach on how to scale, within NetSuite or an ERP system for future success.
Yeah, and I think really the important part again is to have a good partner to sit down with you, and because you really need a business analyst in there to go in and decide how you want these subsidiaries set up. What do you want for the holding company? Because you want to set it up to future proof it. So if you bring in more subsidiaries along the way, you're buying other companies or start other companies, you want to have them all housed under one holding company. So just having that conversation with the partner is just very important.
All right, Ryan. So I think we're cool. I think we're able to get some more wisdom out into the world today. So well done, Albretsen. You did a good job. Uh, you were well. Thank you, thank you. All right, so everybody, so that wraps up our industry activations to subsidiaries this week for franchises. And on behalf of Ryan Albretsen, my name is Jason Asher, and we will see you next week.